again, John. Start of a new season.
Yeah. And
Expectations probably higher after the great year last year. Is there pressure on, do you think?
I think there's always pressure on, and obviously, I think if you look at the history of the club, the demands have come much greater. I think even since Force took over the club and to get out of the first division and get up, and it's huge. I suppose look at where things have changed compared to the old days. It's that we've taken the English bug in a bad way. In the sense that it's gone to a stage where I suppose people are impatient. People want results all the time, and we have a huge challenge this year to make sure that we can stay in the top 3 or 4, and so from my own point of view, coming in last year, the pressure was equally as great because I was coming in, hadn't managed in the league even though I'd been played for a long time. Whereas now, sort of the reason we did so well last year, or because we did so well last year, obviously there's added pressure this year. But look at, that. But I suppose, the most important thing is that the positive things for us last year was that we got fantastic support, and the team did fantastic. The crowd were fantastic, and I suppose a crucial thing locally is that we need people to come out and support the team in huge numbers again, because the challenge is massive, and there's a lot of cheap talk out there, a lot of silly talk, and you win nothing but on everything that's won is won on the pitch, not on the papers or not in the news, and it's up to us as a group to sort of deliver on the pitch, which is going to be a huge challenge for us. But I hope that at the end of the day, I'd love to think that we're good enough, but I think there's 5 or 6 other teams out there that also think they're good enough as well. So and that's the intriguing thing about it.
And like last season, when it was Pats at home, a tough start, but Sligo away, a really tough one this year. They've a new manager gone in just like yourself last year. Had difficulty with his team, Bohemians, last season. Yeah. It's a really tough start, isn't it?
Well, Sligo is Sligo is a mini Cork. I know Sligo quite well. Fantastic soccer town. Fantastic place to go to. Wouldn't have the support that we'd have, but still passionate and very strong support. Wouldn't draw the crowds that we would have, but still on next Saturday night, supposedly they're going to have 4,000 to 4,500, which would be fantastic up there. So they've gone through a bit of a transition. I think like everything else, I said this before. Barraclough was their manager previously a couple of years ago. He won a league, he won a couple of cups, whatever, and I suppose their supporters got spoiled. And then with this struggle last year, he was left go halfway through. Even though they turned around and still won the Stata Cup to the situation, and they were still in Europe. It was the fact that their supporters got spoiled because they were used to winning for 3 or 4 years. This is what happens, even though the club had won nothing for the previous 30 years. And but look at, they've gone through the changes. They've gone back to an Irish manager. I know Owen Heary very well, fantastic player. He's on a pro licence with me. Very shrewd manager, and he's made 12 signings. And he's made some fantastic signings, and we know Sligo will be on their own, in your face, high intensity, high work rate, in your face. You can see in their pre-season they're absolutely flying. They've been scoring. They scored 12 goals in one game, 6 in another couple of games, 8 in another game. So they've been getting goals all over the park. So and we know going up there that they feel that they can win the league, and with the squad he's assembled, I'm sure they're quietly confident. So it's going to be an enormous challenge to us, and we need to be ready for the match. And but the only good thing about it is that if you're a footballer in Ireland, you want to go to venues like players like coming to Turner's Cross. You want to be going to the showgrounds, because the showgrounds is a fantastic place to go to, fantastic football and people and a big crowd and a great atmosphere. So it's what you want to look forward to. So really, really tough start to the season, but at the same time, if you're a top player, you want to go to these places.
And with the City squad, there's been a fair turnover of players in comparison to, say, this week before the start last year. You're happy, obviously, with what you've got in?
I think that we have a very decent bunch of players. I think our strength should be better than last year. Our team should be able to play better than last year, but you just don't know. You just need every fella to work hard. And I suppose the unique thing about us last year is that we were down to the bare bones. We had a big panel, and every fellow gave us heart and soul for the cause, and the supporters could see that, and they did everything in their power to try and win every match. And this year, through the off season, we've brought in players to address certain areas that we needed to address, and things have gone reasonably okay. But at the same time, we haven't set the place alight in pre-season. But as I keep saying, you don't win anything in pre-season. And we just have to see how the lads settle down, how they settle in. It's always difficult for new players to come in because it does take them a bit of time. But at the same time, on paper, we have a better team than last year. We have a better squad than last year. But the game isn't played on paper. We have to go and perform, and that's the challenge to us. And I'm confident that we can rise to the challenge. But we need everyone in Cork. We need all our supporters, to get right behind us right from the very start, and come out in their huge numbers. And while this week is going to be a huge, really difficult game, still at the same time, the season's long. You play 33 matches, so it's a long season.
John, do you have your strongest 11 in your head yet, or is it something that kind of evolves over the first couple of games?
I think it evolves. It depends. I think the difference is you always have 11 in your head. Or I think the difference this year is that we probably have more options, and we've certainly situations where maybe if a guy gets a knock, maybe you can afford to give him the week off and bring in another guy in who'll just fill in and who'll do equally as good. So it's we've in pre-season, I suppose last year we came in and we just stuck to the type of way we're going to play. A couple of injuries dictated that. This year we've done a bit of chopping and change and looked at different options, and so when you're doing that, you look at different situations and different type of players. But regarding the weekend, do I have a team in my head? I do, and we know it's going to be really, really difficult up there. But at the same time, we're well capable. We've a good side, and we need to prepare well, which I think we're doing this week. And if we prepare well, I think it'll be an interesting game.
John O'Flynn, the only injury down to John?
John O'Flynn is the only player that's out. John got the chicken pox, unfortunately for him, and he's on he's 2.5 weeks away from the ground, and so he should be back towards the end of next week. Alan Smith has recovered from the knock, and so from that point of view, I think everyone else everyone's been training all week, so they look okay.
The standard in the league, John, obviously very high last year, seems to be gone higher this year when you include people like Alan Bennett and Liam Miller coming here, a guy capped 53 times for Estonia, Sandor Pori signing with Sligo. It's a league becoming awash with international players.
Yeah, I suppose on paper it would seem that way, that the standard should go up, and I suppose that's what you hope, when you bring the likes of Stephen McPhail and Keith Fahey back, and obviously we've Colin and Liam coming in. Of course, it all helps, and I suppose I always keep saying this: our league is the number one league in this country. People are always quick to judge it against other leagues. I don't think you can do that. It's the number one league in our country. You don't compare it to the Premiership in other leagues because they're at different levels, okay? But it's wrong then to compare it to lower leagues, because you can't compare it from that point of view. But what is good is that, and as you rightly said, like you look at Puri, the guy that Sligo have on the wing, an absolutely exceptional player, 27 years of age, 57 caps, and I think Owen has done a masterstroke by pulling him, and he looks an exceptionally good player. But I suppose the test of the league will be throughout the season. It looks, from the start, it looks like that, there's going to be 5-6 challenges for the league. Very hard to tell. You go back to last year, we weren't even in as one of the challengers, so you just don't know. Could someone like Derry come out of the blue with a local team that they have? Could someone like Longford come out of the pack? You look at Limerick last weekend, very young, enthusiastic side, have the experience, not much, but still they've energy and youth. So, could one of those teams come out of the pack? Maybe so, but But at the moment, a lot of people are saying there's at least 5 teams that are well capable, and all those squads all look as if they're very, very strong players and very strong panels. So it would lead you to believe from the outset that the standard would be very high again this year.
Do you think those clubs will be able to sustain it? Like last season, it became a 2-horse race, kind of 10 or 12 weeks out. But going into this season, with the 4 or 5 teams chasing the title with a month to go, maybe. Will there be still 5 or 6 clubs chasing it, do you think, towards the end?
Well, I think I'm not sure it was a 2-horse race last year. I think if you look at it, that with 9 games to go, we beat St. Pat's at home to go 6 ahead of them, and probably they turned around and beat Dundalk a couple of weeks later, and then obviously we had a couple of draws, and at one stage it looked like it was a 1-horse league because Dundalk were 8 points clear with 7 games to go. I suppose, if I'm being honest, I never felt last year was, that even though Dundalk were always ahead after the first third of the season, I always felt Pats were right there, and I always feel in a run in, and I suppose if we look at it, in the sense that we went top of the league by the second last game. So Pats were still well in there, except they didn't put that consistent run together. Rovers were still in there. The problem, I think, when you get to the last third of the season, you need teams to hit 6-7 wins, and so I wouldn't say it was a situation that the other teams weren't there. I just think that they probably faded out with maybe 4 or 5 games to go. But from my point of view, it was still a situation where there was most of the season there was probably 4 at the top, including Rovers. Sligo had drifted away and Derry had drifted away at the time. But, will you have 5 teams competing this year up to the end of the season? Possibly, but I suppose if you look in over the history of the league, it's seldom you'll have that many competing, that someone will drop off for some reason or another. And it does look as if the squads, I suppose the real beauty about the league at the moment is that no one can predict who's going to win it. And there's no, while some clubs have bigger budgets than others, there's no club with absolutely massive budgets. Like we say, maybe Shelbourne would have had there at one stage in the mid-2000s when they decided to buy up everyone and just dominate the league. I think the brilliant thing about it at the moment, it's not like England now where there's only going to be 2 teams in it. I think at least now, people can see that any one of 5 teams could win it, and that's great for our league. And you look at last year, 2 years ago, Pats won it, Dundalk came from nowhere. Dundalk won it last year, we came from nowhere, and this year looks as if it's wide open. I think that's healthy for the league and it's good for the league.
Having only failed to score in 4 league games last year, I think, John, are you worried about the lack of goals in pre-season? I know the conditions for some of the friendlies weren't the kindest, thinking of CIT and Cove. Yeah,
I'm not really. If I'm being honest, I'm not. A lot was made on. Basically we had problems up there last year. I think we were the only team, I keep saying, that scored at home. We're the only team in the whole league that scored every home game. Never done in the history of Cork. We were still 3rd highest goal scorers. We ended up a lot of long parts of the season with only 1 striker who did fantastic for us, Mark O'Sullivan. Pre-season, I'm not. I'm probably in pre-season it's more the fact that we mightn't have been creating as many chances, or our play mightn't have been as good as I was hoping it would be. But we've been doing a lot of work on certain things, and when you're changing systems and changing personnel, these things can happen. People might not understand what you want, and but I think you look at the night against Cove, we didn't score. I think the night against Waterford we didn't score, but then like on Saturday we scored 3. We scored 6 against Cove Wanderers before that. So look, I don't want to dwell into the pre-season games because ultimately at the end of the day it's a different mindset anyway, because you have players going out to pre-season game where there's no pressure, it's different circumstances. It starts on Saturday, you're going into the showgrounds, really strong club, great venue, in front of a full house. That's when the pressure is on, and that's when you try and stand up to the mark, and that's going to be the test for us.
Just going back to last season again, John, I think when a new manager comes in, there's an expectation that there's maybe a period of transition. So how much was it a surprise for you, John, that you were actually able to take the title to the last day? And obviously, how much pressure does it now put on you in respect of the Cork City supporters to actually go and try and go one better this year?
I suppose if I'm being honest, I'm really focused for this year. There's too much talk. There's been a load of accolades for last year. Great. The league starts this Saturday. I came in last year. There was massive pressure to start of the year. The club had finished sixth twice. People were hoping that I could maybe turn a magic wand. It's not like that. You have to get guys who buy in, work hard. I felt the ingredients of the team were there, which it proved they were. This year is different. We kicked on. This year was different. We kicked on last year. This year is kicking on again. The same pressures around. Of course, expectations are high, but I keep saying around the city is that we've won 2 leagues in our history. Okay, and the reason that is we've had absolutely phenomenal teams before. We've had a team that I played in, 2 different teams that were one won a league, one were close to the league, didn't win it, which was we did 2005 team that were there for 3 or 4 years, probably the best team the club ever had, only won one league. So people need to get real. To win a League of Ireland champions for a provincial team is to achieve that is phenomenal. Okay, and I keep saying this. You play in Dublin, you have 8-10 clubs in that around the area between Bray, Drogheda, Dundalk. You finish your match on a Friday night at 10:15. You're at home at 10:30. In Cork at home at 2:30 in the morning. Sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning. If it's Derry, it might be 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, and you have to deal with that. Hence the reasons why Sligo, Derry, and Cork have won 5 leagues between them in 35 years. And Derry have had fantastic teams. Sligo, that's reality. Okay, they're the facts. We have to deal with it. We're used to it. We know the situation. But as expectations goes, our supporters have to be realistic, and we need them. We need a team, the players, to work as hard as they did last year. Make turners across the fortress, but we need our supporters as well. And if people just assume, you can just turn up, you can't do that. I make the point, St. Pat's won the league 2 years ago. They bought Keith Fahey in the start of last year. Everyone said they were untouchable because they were gone to a different level. And the system didn't mix. The team didn't gel for one reason or the other. And they weren't in the top 2. At the start of the season, they were unbackable. So, it's you go along and you look at other clubs. People are on about us and comparing us to Liverpool. I take Liverpool's position. They're absolutely flying at the moment. In fairness, they're, at the end of October, September, people wanted to get rid of a man over there because of the bad start. You look at them now. Are they 4th, 5th? They're well in contention. Will they win the league? Of course they won't, because the league is a 2-horse race. But they're still going to be 3rd or 4th if they hold their heads.
No, this is a 1-horse race.
Maybe it's what, and I don't want to discuss that, but I think look at things move on. It's and the one thing we always have down here, we've great sports followers, everyone's sports, but sometimes we just assume in all the sports we're going to win. It's I see the other day it's a bit like people talk like with some of the strong games, hurling. We expect that this year we're going to win. There's 8-10 other serious teams out there. Football, I think we've won 6 All-Irelands in 110 years. 6 in the biggest county in Ireland. That's been lots of finals. It's very hard to win these things. League of Ireland soccer, we know the history of Cork. We know all the teams over the years that have won the league, not many. But we've been here 30 years, this club, and we've won 2. But at the same time, it's a situation where if our players play to form, I think we'll be there and thereabouts. But you just don't know, and you don't know how the lads will gel in. Time will show on that. And I think you'll get a better picture after 7 or 8 games to see how things will pan out.
I presume you're looking forward to the season coming up. And what's it like to be in a squad, a team surrounded by Alan Bennett, Liam Miller, Colin Healy?
It's brilliant, like for a young player like me, when you have the likes of those guys you're training with them day in, day out, you can only learn. You can't not learn. And it has, and even just from the start of pre-season, I feel that I have picked up a lot of things from those experienced players, and they're going to be massive for us this year. And I think we have that good balance of the youth and experience. to kick on and have a really good season. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it now and just can't wait for Saturday.
And as a Kilkenny man, you'll be used to winning things, so you might bring that extra bit of flavour to the Cork scene.
You would hope so, yeah. I suppose, yeah, coming from a county like Kilkenny, it's known for its success. So that's obviously something that I'd love to have here, love to have this season, and that's the main ambition for not only me but for all the lads and the club as a whole is to have success. That's the number one thing this season.
Have you set any personal targets in the line of goals or other achievements? Or
I suppose I've set myself. Yeah, I've set maybe double figures. I came close to that last year. I think I got 9 in all competitions. So hopefully I can get a good run of games. I think I'm capable of maybe hitting double figures. But in regards to personal goals, it's more a collective goal. That would be my thinking anyway. Making sure the team get the results they need, and make sure that we're challenging for cups and leagues and etc. Like, so that's the main thing anyway.
The squad that John has assembled is going to be a lot of competition for places, which is healthy in a team like Cork City.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you need that. You need that healthy competition, because I think fellas can get complacent otherwise. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this year we have plenty of competition, and there's everyone needs to be on their toes, because as John was saying, there's always another guy who can come in and do just as good a job, if not better. So I think it is good. It keeps everyone on their toes, everyone fit and sharp, and like I said, there's going to be a lot of games this year as well, so we're going to need that big, strong, competitive squad.
How happy are you with your own pre-season?
I think it's gone well, yeah. I've managed to get in a good bit of game time, feeling fit and strong. The training's gone really well, and I can see everyone's really raring to go. The training's always intense, always nice and sharp, and everyone's looking in good nick for Saturday.
And European football on the horizon as well as something to look forward to for the summer.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. First and foremost, obviously we need to have a good start to the season. That's important, but I suppose it is, as the weeks go on, that is something to definitely look forward to. But we have to make sure that the bread and butter is the league, and we have to make sure that we're up that end of the table come the European. Then we can kind of concentrate on that. But yeah, hopefully we have a good run in that as well.
Like the Sligo knows Saturday, never an easy place to go, but on here he's assembled an excellent squad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. It's a good place to go. I feel anyway. It's a good ground to go to. There'll be good atmosphere there. But yeah, they're after buying well, bringing in some good players. And as John was saying, they've had a good pre-season. They banged in a lot of goals, so it's going to be a tough one for us. So we need to be prepared for a tough game, tough battle. So, but yeah, we're ready to go.
Enjoy the season.
I think we're all very excited now. I mean, it's obviously been a long, hard pre-season, and we've put in the work. Every pre-season's it's hard for every team, but without a doubt, we're excited. It feels like a long time coming, but we just can't wait for Saturday now.
4 months break, thanks. It was a long break, really, wasn't it, since last October?
It is a long break, when you think all the way back to that, to the last game of the season. Of course, it's a long time coming in, and you start pre-season, you have 6 weeks of hard graft first, before the season ever comes. But we've got through that. We've worked really, really hard, and I think we're all, as Gav said, we're all raring to go on Saturday.
There would be a little apprehensive going up to Sligo if you compare the two pre-seasons, theirs and ours. John has said it's a different mindset going into this actual league game.
Absolutely, it's totally different. I mean, we're under no illusions as to how tough it's going to be. Sligo have signed really well, and as you say, up there they seem very excited about the squad that they've assembled and stuff. But I suppose for them, Saturday's going to be the acid test. Like, we were thereabouts last year, and we're hoping to be thereabouts again. So we know it's going to be tough, but we're definitely looking forward to Saturday, and hopefully we can go up there and get a positive result.
John, this is the start of your 4th year here. How does it feel like a young fella like you to be captaining a team containing all these experienced older players?
Sure, it's the same as it was last year, Billy. It was an honour to even be asked in the first place, and I suppose the run we went on last year, You know, it was the stuff dreams are made of. Like, it's what you imagine as a young boy to be captain of a team like that. But you know, we have leaders in the dressing room regardless of whether they're wearing the armband or not. You know, Colin Healy, Dan Murray, Alan Bennett, these lads have been there, seen it and done it. Liam Miller coming in now, so you know, I might wear the armband, but without a doubt we've got 5 or 6 leaders in that dressing room, and we all lean on each other, and you know, they're there to help me anytime I need. You know,
You just go for the tosses,
something like that. Say something in the huddle, and bit of a figurehead.
Without giving away too much, John, how much has training and just the preparation for this season changed maybe to last season with just that extra group of players that John has recruited in the last couple of weeks? Is it still the same structure and training, the same plan, or have things changed in the last couple of weeks with this season in mind?
Well, I mean, as John said, we've been experimenting and trying different things out with the different personnel that we've got. But in training generally, there's the same bite, the same sharpness that there was last year. That's one of the things that's a trademark of our team since John has come in. We've always had that, and that really hasn't changed. I mean, regarding formations and different things like that, I mean, we don't know. You know, obviously John has a team in his head, but first and foremost, we have to work hard individually to make sure you're in that team. That's your main goal, and be ready to go on Saturday. So, like I say, there's a real bite in training, but outside of that, we're just focusing on getting in the team for Saturday.
And with Sligo Rovers and Pats away like in the first 6 games, is it important to get off to a good start?
It's always important to get off to a good start. I think anyway, it sets you on the right path. As Gavin said, it's the bread and butter. Like, it's what we're here for. And last year having come so close, I mean, we want to go that one step further, but first and foremost we have to start well on Saturday. We can't look anywhere past that. It's going to be tough, and you know, like I say, we're looking forward to it.
John, how important is the disciplinary record going to be over the course of the season? I think last year there was one game where we had 3 suspended. We lost. If my memory serves me right, it may not now, but like, suspensions could have a big bearing on the season as well.
They could, of course. Like, I think overall our disciplinary record probably wasn't that bad, but maybe coming into the last few games we ended up having a few players suspended here and there, and you know, it can definitely count in the bigger games when you're coming in the home stretch. So obviously we look at it and we'll be careful, but we're still going to be as competitive as ever. That's not going to change. If there's a yellow card now and again, we'll just have to deal with it.
Mark McNulty got goalkeeper of the year last year, and rightly so, with 17 clean sheets. But obviously he contributed as a back 5 as well to that.
Thanks for that, Billy. Yeah, no, we tell him that as well. Yeah. No, look, I think defensively as a team, probably as a whole, we were very, very hard to break down. And that's not taken away from Nolte. He had a phenomenal season, and we're hoping that he can go and back it up again this year and do exactly as he has done. And hopefully we can, you know, we were the joint lowest conceding team in the league, and we need to have something similar. We need to be ruthless in that way and not concede goals. So I suppose from a team point of view, the award was for us all, as much as, you know, Nolts won it and he deserved everything that he got. But it's great for the lads that we conceded so few last year as well.